How's it going? It's Marshall. Thank you very much for tuning in to the show. It's March 26th, and everyone is having a crazy time these days, and so we want to hopefully brighten your day or evening here with a little bit of synth talk. This is Let's Talk Synths. I probably say that a little more clearly. Let's Talk Synths is the name of the show, and we kind of get together every now and then. Me and a synth pals. That's me upside down. I meant to do that one. There we are. So we've got Aaron Russell in the upper left there. How you doing, Aaron?
Hello. Doing well. Good to see you.
Purveyor of Filter Sweep on Reddit and Imperfect and Point Surrender on YouTube. And then we have CowFood right next to Aaron there, right above me. Square up there. How you doing, CowFood?
Good.
And then we got
Surviving.
Echo Kraft to my left. How's it going, Echo?
Good, man.
Sweet.
Hope everybody's hunkered down and staying safe and staying healthy.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. Stay inside. So we kind of loosely put together a show here real quick, and I just wanted to get together with the guys here, see what everyone's been up to. So we'll start with you, Mr. CowFood. What have you been up to?
Well,
First of all, can I just say something?
Sure.
It's so nice to see your studio.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I finally got around to it, and this is only part of the studio too.
That's nice
Anyway.
though, because we never see your studio.
Yeah.
Well, now you can.
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Oh, the blinky lights.
Yes.
I see an MPC One. No.
Yes,
The
you
new one.
guessed it.
MPC One on
Oh,
the desk.
perfect. I was going to
That's-
ask. I'm glad you have that because I have questions about it.
Yes, the MPC One is the latest little acquired piece that I put in there, and getting it hooked up with the CV gates to work with the Euro rack is on my list of to-do things. I just recently picked it up, so that's one thing. I picked up a Peak. I might have mentioned that last show. So and a Profit Rep
Nice.
too. So
Oh,
I
dude.
I have all my poly, I think, rounded out at this point. When I throw in the OB6 and the DeepMind 12, I'm probably missing another poly, a Tetra that I need to sell actually. So yeah.
So when can we expect to hear some CowFood music?
Goodness.
Yeah.
Very soon. Very, very, very soon.
Can we expect some YouTube content from you?
Probably, yes.
That
Yay.
I got a camera. I got all the good stuff to make it all look nice and shiny. So
Nice.
You've got a
Yeah, it'll be
SoundCloud,
some-
right?
I do.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
a lot of
good.
old material.
Yeah.
There's-
I was looking. I've been looking for music from you because I know you create, but all I could find was old stuff on SoundCloud.
Which is
Yeah.
still very cool.
Well, thank you. But
There's nothing wrong with old.
Yeah. Marshall, I like the way when he said nothing wrong with old,
Yeah.
he flipped over to my picture.
Yeah, well,
We're in sync.
there we go. Nothing wrong
Thanks.
with old Echo. So yeah, what else? Anything else?
I'm sure there is, and I'll
I
probably
mean,
come up later in the
You
show.
have that beautiful modular back there. You've been hooking that up and sampling it into the MPC One, or
Actually, I prefer just going stream of consciousness with that thing. As far as samples go, I'll probably use like drum hits and just other. I mean, I'll go around with a microphone and probably find found sounds and throw those into the MPC One and use that for more of a percussive creative idea.
so you'll be pretty much
Now, on the other
dauntless
hand,
then?
though, there is the key grouping on that. So I could take like just an oscillator, monophonic oscillator, any one of them, and then set it up to record as key group, and it'll auto sample all the notes, and then you can play it up polyphonically.
Oh,
So I
cool.
can
Kinda
make
like,
I can make any oscillator polyphonic.
Yeah, kind of like Sample Robot does on the software side. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've not heard of it.
Yeah, Sample Robot it'll automatically trigger MIDI from an instrument and sample whatever range you want of an instrument, and it'll do it, for as wide an octave range as you want, and then
Right.
yeah, is that kind of what that does?
Exactly. That's exactly what it does.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I can make key
Nice.
groups that way with anything in it. As
So
long as I have
is
a CV to gate or MIDI to CV gate converter.
So you're gonna be fully DAWless,
I do.
right? You can be just programming on that for sequences.
No, hell no. This thing is not a. No way.
I thought that was the thing. Like it had that soft. It's the same software that's in the MPC Live.
Yeah, I mean, you could get away with like using this as your DAW, but
But
it's
why?
not. It's not as good as a DAW. You're not gonna. It's a pain in the ass to move MIDI notes around out there. It's not quite refined.
Well, that
If
was
you ask me.
That's kind of what I was like. I had watched a couple reviews on it, and I had heard some complaints about there's some pretty severe bugs in the software. Have you? I know you just got it, but have you encountered any real obstacles to?
No, nothing really big. I mean, there's some issues with like just getting used to the touch screen. It doesn't when I like on certain screens I don't get the kind of responsiveness that I'm expecting.
Mm.
But then if I work with it a bit, I'll get to where I need it to be with selecting notes or dragging out automation and things like that. I've run into some problems where I'm going to just select certain areas and it won't select it the way I'm hoping to by stretching my fingers or that kind of thing. So
there's also not an up and down button on there. Is that correct?
there is not. There's a plus and a minus button, and then there's a dial, which
Yeah,
is
because
a big old fat
I heard
dial.
trying to use the touchscreen on that is a real pain, and they added more buttons on this versus the Live, but there's stupid stuff like there's no up down. There's some weird.
No, there's not a big pain because there are like there's 4 knobs here next to the screen that are called Q-Link knobs,
Okay.
and you can once you get those figured out, you can move values around with just those.
Okay.
But you still have to select on the screen where you want to then move. You have to touch what it is you want to change in some cases. Other cases, those are already pre-assigned, and you have to hit another button sometimes to switch banks because there's 4 banks of these 4 knobs, but only 4 physical knobs. So you have to use another button to switch which bank you're going to be in.
So it's got an interesting workflow.
Yeah,
Would you say?
it's a workflow you have to kind of like get used to.
Okay.
And as far as like I said, just getting around and navigating on it, it's not too big of a deal. But when it comes to like serious MIDI note editing or something like that, then it becomes kind of cumbersome, and I would rather be using a mouse and keyboard. So I wouldn't like rely on this to do a full DAW situation. It's just not quite that refined.
Gotcha.
If you want to do the real deal, you need a DAW. So, well, the real deal. I mean, you could do it, and it just
If you want to do it without.
that's a small screen for a DAW. I mean, I really want to zoom in and move around tracks and stuff and get things
But
going.
dude, you
when I
could
wanna
take
work
that.
in the DAW.
You could take that up into the mountains and jam in the forest.
Well, yeah, you can come up with a sketch. It's good
With your
for
man
sketching.
bun.
Yeah, you
And
get your man bun going.
With your man bun.
Roland, what was that small keyboard, the Jupiter XM?
Yeah, the XM. You take your XM.
While it's warming up, you can jam
Yeah,
and record
you can
while
get
it's
that.
warming
There you
Get that detuned warm
Gotta
up.
let it warm up.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
No, the MPC One though is still dope. I mean,
I think it's cool.
far as-
And we'll talk. I have some. The reason why I'm asking about it is because of another product that we'll talk about here after we talk to everyone else here. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
that's what's new on my end.
Cool. Well, hopefully we can get some new tunes from CowFood pretty soon. So
Yes,
let
I
us
will.
know when that
Let it know.
all goes live, and we'll get together and make sure we get the word out for you.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Echo,
What happened?
what's happening, man?
Tell
me. Tell the
I've
world.
been literally just like the rest of us cooped up here, but a lot of people are saying, oh man, I'm so bored. I'm like, well, it's because you don't have a fucking playroom, you know. That's what I
Man
call my
cave.
Yeah, you need a
yeah
man cave.
the studio, man. It's like I'm in here every day, and it's awesome. I've been having a blast creating and getting frustrated because I try different things that don't work, and then I say, oh well, I'll try something else. You know what I mean? So, but I ended up buying a. See if I can show you here. I tried this out at NAMM. Sorry, if I can unplug it.
Just don't have a Gaz Williams and break it on there.
No. So I got one of these little dudes.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's cute.
it is. It's awesome. I got these little side panels from. Let me see if I can get it in focus here. From 3D Waves, and
Oh, cool.
he printed them up for me and sent them out. And I think his name's Andy, right? Super nice guy, and he threw in a couple of free knobs. And I tried plugging the knobs in, and they didn't work. So I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah. And then I ended up buying. I got off my desk. I used to have a big Behringer mixer right here on my desk, and I got rid of that. And I ended up getting a line mixer that I threw in the rack because I didn't need that big cumbersome board and all that stuff anymore. So I ended up doing that. So now I have this nice line mixer. I wish I could show you on the camera.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's the Behringer line mixer. It's
Okay.
the Eurorack Pro with 9 billion numbers and letters after it. So I don't know what. But it's got 8 mono and 2 stereo, and I have it hooked up with the rest of my outboard gear, and it's awesome because on the other board I had some issues doing certain things, and yeah, there it is right there. Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Wow, that's a pretty good chunk.
It's pretty cool. It's quiet. And I love the fact that I'm able to run my outboard gear into it. All I have to do is hit the effects button that's on it, and I get to do my mastering through it now. So it's actually a lot easier to use.
So does this have a USB hookup on it, or can you use it as
Nope.
an interface? It's just an
Nope.
analog mixer, huh?
Straight analog mixer, yeah.
Cool.
It's got some pretty cool, like, Behringer effects on it. I don't really use those. I'd rather use in the box stuff or pedals. But I mean, for the most part, it's dead quiet, man, and it's so much easier to use. And now that I have space on my desk, I can do other things. Now I actually have a desk space again, which is nice.
Yeah, now having a big old mixer taking up half your
Yeah,
desk real estate. Yeah.
And I ended up getting an Alesis multi-strike pad. I don't know if you can see that over there. See if
I
can
just see your
hold it
water
up.
bottle stash.
See this? Oh yeah, I gotta have. Listen, people think I'm hoarding. I'm not hoarding.
I won't tell.
I don't have fucking a compartment full of toilet paper either. So
That's with the next room.
You got one of these? Is this it?
yeah, I picked up that.
Wow, that looks pretty high tech. So is that like for drumming then?
Yeah, because I have a V kit and I can't set it up in there. I have no room for it. So I ended up picking up one of the rolling pedals. Hope you guys can see this.
Oh, let me
So I
switch
picked up.
back over to you here. Oh, no, that's me upside down. That's CowFood. Hold on, I'm screwing up. There we go.
So I picked up one of these. This is a bass drum pedal, and it's really quiet. Like you can't even hear this thing. So I picked up one of these. That wasn't cheap. That was like $200. And then Alesis is such an odd duck with things. The hi-hat pedal that I bought didn't work, so I was forced to buy an Alesis hi-hat pedal for it. So that works. So I returned the rolling one.
It wasn't just a polarity issue on the pedal, but it had to be a whole different pedal, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. Like they said, the bass drum pedal works fine, but the hi-hat for some weird reason, they're going to hopefully do a firmware update that's going to fix it. But I ended up having, because they don't make this pedal anymore, so I found one from some weird company. I don't know where the hell it was. I think it was in Chicago, that had a brand new one still in the box. I found it on Reverb. So I basically bought that thing, and it works fine. So that's how I'm laying my drum tracks down, which is pretty cool. And like I was saying earlier before we were recording, I built a whole new shelf, so I have my my mini log, my SEO2, and my monologue on the shelf up top now. And then the whole back wall, the only thing that's on there right now is 2 drum machines and my DeepMind 12. And what I'm going to do is that whole shelf underneath the drum machines, that's all going to be pedals. So I'm getting ready to set up a whole bunch of like a pedal board.
Sweet.
To run some of my synths through. And I've been recording and stuff, and you know, just dropped a new song on the Friday the 13th.
Dun dun dun.
It's a synthwave tune. It's called I dropped it on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else, but it's a synthwave 80s synthwave tune. It's called Neon Drive, of course. There's about 9 billion Neon Drive songs out there. But yeah, that's what I did, and it's getting some plays, which is kind of cool. So I'm in the middle of writing a song called Pandemic right now.
Okay.
Ooh.
Why would you write a song like that? That's so out of the blue, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is super random.
Yeah, you know,
It had to be mushroom induced.
it's super dark.
No other way.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to, man. I've been just recording and playing with my gear, and I didn't even tell you this. I got a new stand for my Matrix Brute and for my and I wish I could take the camera to show you. And for the Prophet, it's Jesus Christ, what the hell's the name of the company? Oh, I'm an idiot. It's an on-stage stand.
Yeah.
It's brand new, and what's really cool is, I remember, Marshall, I messaged you and asked you what kind of stands you're using.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do a triple tier stand. But I was like, you know what? I'd rather build a shelf and all that stuff. So I found this stand, and what's really cool is the arms on the top tier can go back or forward.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'd love to show you what this looks like, but at the angle and everything is so nice.
Well, here, maybe you could just point it out. I just typed in on stage.
Yeah, if that
Is
thing
it
can
like-
hold a Matrix Brute and another full-size synth, that is impressive.
Is it a
Yeah, no,
is it a 3-tier?
No, it's a 2-tier.
Is it like this here?
Nope.
No.
No, it's an X style stand.
Oh, okay.
Double brace.
Well, of course, there's like 7 pages, so.
So I know they have the X, and then you can buy an extra set of upper arms, but I don't recall that those upper arms can go back and forward.
Yeah. I was looking at those too, but this one was brand new at the NAMM show, and I didn't think it was going to be available yet. And I think that's it right there.
Which one?
152, the 152.
To the
No,
right.
this one
I
here?
don't know which way is right or left.
Yeah,
for you.
that's the one.
Ah.
So the arms can go backwards, and the arms can also raise up and down.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cool,
Oh,
man.
I see that. That's actually very useful.
Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, all right, cool. As soon as I got it, I set it up, and I was like, oh man, this is so nice, because now the angle of the Prophet is really, it's perfect. And the angle, the way the flip top is on the Matrix Brute, the way that's angled, they're like perfectly angled now.
Yeah.
So I can actually get at the controls.
Yeah, because like this stand is pretty good, and you can angle kind of this way.
Yeah.
You can't get any more height, and because of that, I can't angle my V-Synth down anymore.
You can't, yeah.
You know, so I have to stand up if I want to, play those. I can't be seated at all. So
Yeah, so
yeah, I
that's
can see
when
that.
I saw, like, I was hoping they would make it like in a triple tier, because I wanted to put my DeepMind up there, but I was just like, screw it. They don't make one like that. I actually wrote to them and said, hey, is that something that you guys might think about? And they said that could be a consideration. They did email me back, which I was surprised. But yeah, it's a really cool stand. It's only $153.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice.
I dig it. What about you, Aaron? How you been, man?
I can't complain. I've got food, water, shelter.
Toilet paper?
Yeah, toilet paper, most important thing.
Yeah, good thing I do have enough because I went to the store last week and they were all out.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And I had to put back some of the water bottles I grabbed because they didn't post that you couldn't take 4 and you can only take 2. So I got scolded by the checkout lady. That was pretty fun.
Really?
We're taking water bottles?
Yeah, I had the quota was 2 water bottles and I had 4.
Wow. See?
So
Wow.
had to part with 2 of them.
Like, come on, man. You don't need to hoard all them water bottles.
Dude, that's when you bring a buddy with you and you say, here, man, you pay for these, you know.
Yeah. I was like, well, what if I walk back in, and then take the 2? She probably would have remembered being chased me out
And
of there
got
who
mad
knows.
at you. Yeah. You have to be out of the store for at least 12 minutes.
We have 5 manufacturers of toilet paper in this country. I don't think we're gonna run out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Anyway, the main thing I've been doing is I filled out my little Eurorack setup. I finally settled on some filters that I really like, and every filter I've had in there, I did a exploration video
Yes.
while I was doing some studio rearrangements, and had some crazy guy living out of a trailer in the lot next door running a gas generator at about 18 hours a day while rebuilding a diesel truck.
Oh, wow.
So I
Wow.
couldn't do any mixing at all. So I just
That's
put on
crazy.
headphones and played with filters for a month.
So this is basically your filter setup is here on this.
Yeah, that's currently exactly where it's at. There was a Roland System 100 clone in place of the Tonus VCF,
Oh, okay.
and I think that's the only filter I swapped out. So and on my Imperfect channel, there's videos of all of those filters. So basically, what I wanted to do was try and make a video where somebody could get an idea of what is the character of this filter. So
Yeah.
I do some basic sweeps, some resonance sweeps, and then some ARPs and basses. You know, they're long videos. They're, you know, if you're not specifically looking for information on that filter, the video is going to put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Which is, I like those videos, honestly.
Yeah, I like those. I like some long technical videos every now and then. I know you got to be a little careful nowadays.
Yeah.
That filter content ideals flag you. You guys heard about was it Starsky?
I somehow dodged it.
Starsky car.
Starsky,
Yeah, he got nailed by a Chemical Brothers track. It wasn't the Chemical Brothers that did.
Oh,
that.
really? I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, it was a we lost CowFood. Hopefully he'll now there he is. He's back.
Yeah, he's back.
You're back. You went away for a second. I was scared for you.
I know. I was scared too. Anyway,
So yeah, he got nailed with the content ID claim on a sweep of a filter he was doing on the Poly D for one of his his technical videos that he goes through and does a fantastic job with those. This is ridiculous, the extent that is at now. So I'm glad you didn't have any troubles there, Aaron. But
I'm surprised because I did a lot of them, probably like 80 of them total,
and it's
between the 8 or 7 videos that I did.
And it's perfect being that you were demoing all these filters, and you run the Reddit filter sweep.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. I like
it. Wasn't lost on me.
No. Did you want to? I don't know that you've really talked about that at all. How's that going? The filter sweep.
We passed the point where I felt like, okay, if I stop watering this plant, it's going to be dead in 2 days. You know, there's that growth period where it needs a little more hands-on and extra time, and we passed that right around the holidays. We're getting close to 2,000 users now.
Nice.
I think it's doing okay. I'm still making sure to. I want to make sure that it stays as a creative place that's organized enough. I don't know. I mean, we made it because we didn't like the general attitude on the forum that we left, and so I'm doing my best to maintain the attitude that we want to have. Um, Basically, just no drama, no BS. It's just about synthesizers and hardware, um, techniques, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No fawning over new gear or showing off of gear or photo pics of stuff that you just bought at a yard sale. None of that stuff. It's more focused on the craft.
Right. More actual usable content,
Yeah.
helpful content, I should say. I mean, it's nice to look at other people's studios and setups every now and then, but
Yeah,
it's also good.
there's plenty of places out there you can go,
Yeah.
like what is that, music battle stations or whatever, and there's plenty of places you can go to do that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
let's see. As far as gear, so since we all talked, there was the MPC One announced, and I had put in a pre-order for that. The pre-order got kicked back about a month, so I ended up going with an MPC Live.
Oh, cool.
I thought, okay, this will hold me over, and then if I want to, I can swap to the One, because MPC Live seems to hold its value decently on Reverb, I noticed. So I'm like, okay, I can flip this for a One if I want to. But I found I really like the MPC Live has 2 MIDI ports, and then it's got 4 audio out jacks, I think, in addition to the 2 main stereo.
Yeah, and it's also fully portable, right? Well, I guess there's 2 versions of the Live, right? There's one that has a battery in it and another one that doesn't.
No, there's only one Live.
Is there only one Live?
Yeah. It's confusing. There's the One and there's the Live. They're 2 separate branches of the same tree, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I was gonna see if we can get a.
Yeah, there's drawbacks and advantages to either one.
Yeah, this has a lot more connectivity on it, though, I think, than.
Yeah, and I've found that currently the way I have it set up is 2 of the outs I dedicate to drums, 2 of the outs I dedicate to samples, and I can also still I can run them as 2 stereo pairs, or I can run them as 4 monos or something like that. So I get a lot of flexibility, and I'd have to sacrifice some of that if I went with the One. What I like about the One is it has more buttons. So where CowFood can just press a button, I have to go into a menu and press another icon.
And dig something. Yeah, dig it up in the.
Much more off. I have to do a lot more of that.
That was one of the big. That was one of the big advantages when this was announced. Is.
Yeah.
All these buttons.
I think I don't care about the pads being full size. I don't use the pads that much. I would rather have all those shortcut buttons that would make things move a little faster. But it's definitely a learning curve, and I'm okay. It took me a bit to get over that hump, and I intend to, and I have been using that as my DAW, between that and my digital mixer, which I can track into the mixer, multi-track or stereo track. It's been working fine so far, and CowFood pointed out, some of the things is not as elegant as it would be if you had a full-blown DAW. But for me, I sit in front of a computer all day when I'm working. I'm okay having to use a little more effort when I'm tweaking MIDI or automation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not too bad. I've found my way around it, and I know, okay, I've got to zoom in to a certain level before I can move individual MIDI notes, and then if I want to move them all, I zoom out and highlight them, and there's ways to move the notes left or right or up and down.
Is a touch screen work okay on that?
I think it does, and I'm not a fan of touchscreen, but once I learned the quirks, it does work okay. I don't know that there's much. Well, there is pinching if you're in the zoom mode, but it's not like a iPad where sometimes you'll have if one finger's on and another finger taps, that might do something special, or two fingers slide up might do something special. I haven't found that it has things like that implemented.
No,
But
it doesn't have that. I don't think.
I don't have any serious complaints, and I don't know how they could improve it. They could make it different. Well, the thing that I would really like to see is a full-blown arrange mode, which they either previewed or have released on the Akai Force, which is confusing because the Akai Force almost looks exactly like the MPC One or Live. It's like the cousin, and it uses a very similar operating system, but they have shown, I've seen photos of a full arrange mode where you can see multiple tracks, just like you would in a DAW, because the MPC software doesn't do that.
Yeah, so this looks like a variant of, like a highly advanced push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically Ableton Live in a piece. And it's that it just seems like overkill. It's a pretty serious piece of kit, and I didn't think I'd be using a lot of the features on it.
And look, it has up and down arrows. That is cool. I didn't even know about that. Somehow I missed this one.
But they've been pretty spot on as far as releasing updates to the MPC Live, so it can be confusing. So first of all, the MPC Live and the MPC One, they use the exact same hardware. The only difference is the case and the buttons, but they both have the exact same functionality. But they're always updating it and improving it based on user feedback. So if you watch a review from a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, it's going to be different than if you watch one from 3 months ago, because it's got more features and things have been ironed out. So CowFood and I have had a much more pleasant experience than somebody, say, who bought one of these 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other differences are there's some the MPC One gives you CV gate outs. So you
CowFood, are you muted?
Am I?
I can hear him. Can you hear him, Echo Kraft?
No.
That's cool. I can
Hear
hear
me, but he can hear me.
And you can hear
Yes.
me.
I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me, CowFood?
I can hear you. So three of you can hear me. Echo, you can't. I guess, obviously.
I guess
Yeah, he's muted, man. I
You're
can't
going to
hear
have
him.
to use sign language for Echo Kraft, Mr. CowFood.
Can you hear us, Echo?
I hear you guys fine. I just don't hear him.
Oh, that's weird because I can hear everybody. Can you hear everybody, Aaron?
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Can you hear everybody, CowFood?
I can hear everybody now. When I dropped out and came back on, I couldn't hear Echo for a little while, and I couldn't hear Aaron for a little while. So
and then it came back.
My guess is something happened on the dropout.
Yeah, because I don't hear him at all.
Do you want me to
you
drop back in and come back in?
Yeah, if you want, we can try that.
All right. I shall.
You shall return.
I'm not sure what differences he was going to talk about, but there are some storage differences as far as the MPC Live has a drive bay where you can put a, I think, 2.5-inch laptop size drive into the bottom.
Oh, I saw that when I was
expansion.
just looking at.
So that's what that plate was on the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's
cool.
for. It's got a built-in battery, whereas the one has to be plugged in. The Live has a built-in battery. And the onboard storage is 10 gig as opposed to 2 gig, as I understand it, on the One.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Awesome.
we're good.
Cool.
Okay.
That was it. Right on.
So I was explaining that there was some differences. Obviously, the MPC Live, you get a couple extra things like a hard drive. You get a battery, so you can just go anywhere you want with it. You get extra outs. You get turntable ins and some think an extra set of inputs as well on top of that. I'm not sure on that, but extra MIDI for sure. But the MPC One has one bonus that is not on the live, and that's the CV gate outs, so you can control your rack with sequencing on that. So, and that's I think that might there is now. This is why I bring it up. I'm talking it to death, but MPC Live Make 2. And this is probably going to upset you, Aaron, but it's coming. I'm not sure when, considering we live in these times, right? But it's been announced. There's already been patents out, so they're pushing out a Make 2 of the Live, which I think will have those CV gate outs and everything else that yours has.
I'll just flip for it.
There you go.
I'm guessing it'll run the same software, so I don't think it'd be too painful to switch.
No, it's just selling your Make 1 might be kind of painful.
Yeah, well,
it's up to you.
I flip way too much stuff, so I think all of us here are familiar with this experience.
Yes.
Yep.
That's cool, though. I'm gonna have to check that out. I hadn't heard about that.
So I guess, since we've kind of been talking about these sequencer groove boxes, whatever you want to call them, this caught my eye, and I am like very excited for this Paulien Tracker. Now this is kind of a similar concept, except it takes it back to the 90s in a way, because instead of using a traditional linear DAW type setup here, this is like an old school tracker from the 90s. See if we can get a nice shot of it here. So this is, I'm like, oh yeah, this brings me back to my Dream Station days when I first started making music in the early 2000s. Have you guys seen anything about this? Do you guys
look, is that a 303 next to it?
Sure, or a 606. That could be a drum,
one of the two.
Yeah, it could be a drum machine. Looks like.
I've heard of it and seen some photos, but I haven't watched a thorough review. I didn't realize it was. Well, wow. I've been distracted the last week and a half.
So here you go, man. Lou Pop's got you covered. He's got I think this is like an hour long. So obviously Lou Pop does some of the best tutorial in-depth.
Yeah, he really does.
Videos of gear as it comes out here. So he goes through this and the workflow and everything, and I'm pretty jazzed about this. I actually put in a pre-order for one of these. And I wouldn't have thought myself to be one to pick up any kind of groove box.
You put in a pre-order. Okay, so you're on board.
I'm on board, man. I'm all in. So it's nice. I like the workflow because I even in Ableton, I almost use Ableton like a tracker as well with the clips and the way I sequence things, and I just kind of like working that way. So, and this is cool. Doesn't have a battery, but it does have. It is USB powered, so you can bring a power brick and use it that way. So I could definitely go into the forest with a man bun, and.
But you wouldn't.
I totally
actually
wouldn't.
I would pay real money to see you with a man bun.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't happen because I don't have any hair anymore. Sorry to disappoint you. But yeah, it's got a sampler, slicer. It's got granular wavetable stuff. It's a decent little package here, I think.
Do you have a shot of the ins and outs?
So the ins, that's one area where it's kind of wussy. Can we see a picture of? How about I
saw a little bit of it on Sonic State. Nick and the guys kind of went over it.
Oh, they did on the show this week.
Last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
I've been kind of in and out on stuff because work's been a little crazy.
Yeah, I didn't watch yesterday's at all, so I should have. I was hanging out doing shit, so.
So here we go. I can at least tell you real fast. So it's got stereo out, mono line in, mono mic in, MIDI in and MIDI out, and then USB-C. So it's all, and the line in and out and the stereo out, they're all 1/8" jack, so they're not 1/4" like I would prefer, but.
That's a mono sampler, right?
Yeah, yep. So you can sample into it, and it's got a couple different synth engines in there, and then an FM radio that you can sample from the radio, which that's kind of interesting.
How much was the pre-order for that?
So let me pull her up on Sweetwater here.
Was it under $1,000?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's $5.99. Excuse me.
Really?
Wow.
That's what I paid for the one.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap.
That's why I was like, okay. But see, I'm seeing here in the MSRP, $1,200. I don't know if this is a pre-order price, and this might go up a little bit. I seriously doubt it would ever be that much, but even if it was like $800, that might be a little too much for this. I think the $5.99 price is pretty good. But here's a shot of the I/O on it here.
Okay.
So it's got those little 1/8" MIDI. You could use the
TRS, yeah.
Yeah,
But
the
those
TRS
are
MIDI.
actually mono, not stereo.
So your output is stereo. Your ins are mono, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it saves mono. It only takes mono samples, but it will split using effects to stereo.
Yeah.
think
Not
that's
only that,
what I heard.
you could also. Back in the day, the way you used to get stereo on a tracker anyway was you would use more than one channel. But and this kind of does the same thing. And one of the things I liked about the workflow is if you're playing chords on a keyboard, it will automatically spread the chords across the tracks in the tracker, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because that's not something that at least the trackers that I've worked with, they didn't do that. If you pressed a chord, it would try and put them all in the same lane, the same track. So this is nice.
So are lanes dedicated to channels, audio channels? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So actually I can show you guys. I was showing.
Isn't Renoise the one that's still going?
I was showing CowFood this. This is actually the original.
Because I know there are a few trackers I've.
Did everything just? Hello.
What happened?
You guys there?
It's. I think we're working now. I can hear people now.
Okay, that's weird. Everything like froze for a second.
Hit that hard drive CPU. Are we running on a separate computer or the same one?
No, it's a separate computer. It's dedicated for just this stuff.
Was that the one that you used to use, the tracker?
Yeah, so this was the original tracker that I used to use called DreamStation. And this was nice because it had a 3 oscillator synth built into it. And then you could import PCM samples. So like I was, let's see if I can remember how to get in here. So these are all the samples that I have imported in this particular track from 2003. Right?
Nice.
So
It still runs?
Oh yeah, it still works. Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe it still works. This is, was designed to work on like Windows 95 and 98 and stuff.
640 by 480.
Yeah, that's why the screen's so tiny, right? If I changed my resolution, it would look much better. But yeah, so in this one though, you only had eight channels of audio, but you could go up to 32 tracks, I think, or 24. Let's see, 32 in this. I want to say originally it was 24, but this might be a little bit newer than the one that I originally was using back in the day. So you had to get kind of creative, and you would have to pair stuff up in different channels. And this is 8 channels is just not enough, in my opinion, to sequence anything and get really. You're not going to get stereo really, other than trying to use the effects to spread out sounds. And yeah, I think with this Polyend though, it has way more channels, and I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say it was like 48 specs.
Is that MIDI channels or audio channels?
I like how it says tech specs tracker. So let me see if I can find it.
From what I read initially, I got the impression it was would work best for MIDI and maybe not, full on MIDI and audio like I would tend to use a DAW, combining MIDI and audio and multiple audio tracks and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
That's
I
well,
didn't get the impression it was designed for that, but rather it's designed more for the MIDI tracking
yes,
element.
and that's kind of the way I would be using this anyway. I'd hook up some synths and I'd run them to a mixer and use effects and processing on that. So I would just basically use it as a sequencer that I can fine tune a full track worth of patterns for multiple instruments.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good question. I'm not sure how many actual. I want to say that it has. You can do up to like 256 patterns in a project and up to 48 tracks, I want to say. Now, I don't know if that means if you use their built-in synth engine or use samples, if that would correlate across to each track has its own channel, so to speak. So that's something I don't really know the answer to.
When's it supposed to be out? Do we know?
I read somewhere that June is when they're looking to ship these.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so some of those details tend to come out right around when it's actually released. They may be making some adjustments still. Who knows?
Yeah, and I mean, Lou Pop may have covered it, and I may have just not heard him say, on that specific front. But could also probably just download the manual and read it. But I haven't done that.
RFM, baby.
I just found out about this like a couple days ago. So, and I guess it had been kind of announced a while back, but they started doing pre-orders the other day. So that's when it showed up on my radar, and I was like, oh, what's this? So I think, it's a competitor in some ways to like an MPC Live, not necessarily the Live. I think
Maybe closer to the Deluge from what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, yep, I could see that as well. And the Deluge
Digitech, maybe.
Yeah,
extent.
The Deluge always kind of impressed me with its workflow and the way it was designed, but this actually having a screen, I think, is much better,
Yeah, that was the main issue with the Deluge, is it doesn't really have a screen.
Yeah. So, anyway. I guess
interesting.
That's kind of what I've been up to. I've been working on some other stuff. I have my M-Audio Venom pulled out. I was going to do some were
you inspired by Nick?
No, it's funny because I had pulled this out earlier this week, and then late last week. I can't remember. Not that long ago, but it was just before he did the Fun Friday thing, so it would have been last week. And I was like, oh, he must have read my mind, because I remember Nick Bat was super excited about this synth, and when it came out, like because of his enthusiasm, I bought one.
Me too.
And I was severely disappointed.
Me too.
Don't tell him.
So yeah, we'll talk about that.
I literally had it. I used it actually live a couple of times with my band, but it was mainly I was triggering stuff with an iPad, so I was really using it like a MIDI controller.
Yeah, it works great as a MIDI controller. It's got independent arpeggiators for up to 4 different timbres, which really would be really nice for live.
I kept it for a little while. I did some videos with it, and then I sold that and the what was it? The Korg Micro, whatever that thing is. I traded those in for the Matrix Brute.
Oh, nice. Well, you probably didn't get much for the M-Audio Venom. Would they give you $50 for it?
No, they gave me $100 for it.
That's a steal, especially on trade. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I think they sold it for $149 when I went in there again.
Yeah, so they made a whole $50. Woohoo.
Yeah, it was the Micro Korg. That's what I did. I got rid of the Micro Korg.
You got rid of. I kind of want to get one of those. That's. Like,
I had the Gold series.
That's like one of the longest running synths ever, isn't it? It's
been
in production for like 20 years or something like that.
It's still one of the top selling every year.
Yeah,
longer
that's crazy.
than the M1.
That's insane.
It's got a good sound engine. They just the MS2000 is a whole lot easier to manage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's much more. It's a full size synth and.
I got bored with that really fast. I don't know. I just maybe because it was digital and I wasn't. I don't know, dude. That and the Venom I was just like all set with, but now I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt because I really kind of did like the Venom. The Venom actually had some really fat bass sounds in it.
It has like, it's an interesting synth, and it is. Where it's really let down is more the I/O, I think, than the actual synth engine, and that the editor that you're supposed to use with this is, I guess, not complete or has some issues with it. I don't really remember running into that type of stuff. It was more like I didn't like that there was like no controls on here.
Yeah.
And it had like,
We're coming
You
back.
turn into a robot.
I'm a robot.
Yeah.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Marshall bot.
Okay.
You're back.
I'm back. Sorry.
What's the basic architecture on the Venom, if I can ask?
Plain.
What's that?
He said, "What's the basic architecture on it?" I said, "Plain."
Oh, plain. No, well, it's sample-based oscillators from multiple well-known synthesizers.
Oh, okay. So no non-trademark infringing
Yeah.
samples.
So you'll see MG oscillator, right? Like
Yeah.
MG Sawtooth. I guess that's a Moog. OB. That's kind of how they did it. And then it also
Marshall,
Yeah.
did you ever use the editor?
Yeah. Yep.
I had the hardest time using that.
It's a
thing.
big
It kept
pain
crashing
in the
on
ass.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, and it's designed. It was designed by a third party, and I don't think that they supported it very well after launch. So I think
Yeah.
they maybe had 1 or 2 updates to it, and then the product failed. I think nobody really, the people that bought it were like us, and we didn't like them, and then. I think the MSRP on it was like $600, $700.
Yeah, I remember when I bought mine, I paid $4.95 for it.
That's pretty good because I think I bought mine like almost right away, and I paid whatever the main street price was at the time, and then now you can buy them for like $100. So
Yeah,
it's but it does have its own character. It's just that I don't know how to explain it. I'm just gonna have to make some videos on it because it had potential, and it just didn't really fulfill that potential. But
I'm surprised you still kept it because that's one thing. Like Nick.
Oh, I didn't keep it.
Nick's had it since he reviewed it.
Yeah, his is all yellowed and everything. But yeah, I didn't actually keep it. I got rid of mine a long time ago, and I bought one maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago because I intended to revisit it and do some videos on it and maybe use it in a few things. But as I've sat it up here and tried playing on it, I'm just like, I don't know if I even want to make any videos on it.
You could do a follow up to your DX7 video.
Yeah, nah, the DX7 is truly awful.
Did you well, didn't you kick the DX7 at one point?
Oh,
or?
I didn't kick it. I smashed one with a hammer.
Oh, that's right.
And people got really mad at me for that. Apparently, that was like a sin. But I remember watching an interview with one of the guys from I can't remember what band he was with, The Cure or something, and he was like, "The DX7 sucks. Like, who likes that? It's brown." And so I thought like, oh yeah,
Shit brown.
everyone hates the DX7.
Yep.
That was wrong.
Synthwave came back, and suddenly the DX7 was on top.
Was the god of all things, and I'm like, come on, guys, FM.
I think the D50 is better synthwave wise than the DX7.
Well, the D50 killed the DX7. Thank God.
It's a great sounding synth.
Yeah, the D50 is really nice. The D50,
Even the little boutique that they came out with is awesome.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. But those are still like, they're still pain in the ass to program, so it's still better than a DX7. Anything's better than a DX7, but those were still pains in the asses too.
I'm curious to see what this Korg thing is, man. It looked like a DX7.
Yeah, I don't know why. If they do that, I don't understand You'd have to like give it away for free.
Well, you know,
The
the
one in the
NTS
case, is that what you're talking about? The
Yeah.
one in the glass
yeah,
case?
yeah.
Okay.
What is
The
the
NTS,
point of
the
that?
Korg NTS One is brown. You know that, right?
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
even know what an NTS One is. I've never heard
That's
of
the
that.
little Korg synth that I held up.
Oh, okay.
Now, is that the one,
That's
Echo
brown?
Kraft, that does all the effects?
Yeah,
It
Okay.
looked black.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
brown?
kind of brown. Yeah.
But it's not shit brown.
No, it's not. It's dark brown, but
Okay.
it's not shit brown.
I guess it depends on what you've been eating, guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, this thing's really cool. Like, I really enjoy playing with this thing. And just running stuff into it. The effects on
Yeah.
it are awesome, you know. So it's a lot of fun to toy around with. I actually did 2 tracks already using the arpeggiator on it and playing around with the filters and stuff. It's actually really cool, and it's smooth, man. The filter on it is really smooth.
What kind of filter is it? Can you tell us more about the filter?
I think the filter is there's 2 filters on it. There's the MS-20 filter, and I think
Okay.
what's the other one? Oh God, don't make me get the manual out. What did I do with the manual?
Who reads manuals?
I do.
I'm just.
That's the last resort.
I'm joking.
I had to read the manual when I was learning the MPC Live.
Yeah. Everyone.
Yeah,
should
something
read
like
their
that. Yeah,
manuals.
I totally would need to read a manual for something like that.
So it's got a modeled MS-20, because it's digital. That's a digital little
Yeah,
box, right?
Yeah, there's nothing analog about it other than the cable that you plug into it. So it's
So maybe they'll release more filters, though. That'd be cool.
well, you can download all different types of the wave packages that you can get off of Korg's website, and people are making them every day, which is really cool.
It's basically a standalone multi-engine that you would find.
Okay, yeah.
in-
So the oscillator is the multi-engine oscillator.
Yeah, in the Prologue.
And the Prologue and the
Prologue.
what's the other Minilogue
Loog.
XD?
Yeah.
Yep. Those two.
The Loog. To the
Loog.
Loog. The Prologue.
The Prologue. Robert Moog. But you know, I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun, and you have to build it. So I had to put it together and stuff, and that was kind of cool.
That's cool. Was
Yeah.
it like snap tight model kit, or was it like get out the soldering and?
No, it's just all screws and snapping, together.
Yeah,
It was cool. Yeah,
So that's
no
pretty-
soldering.
Pretty easy.
If I had a solder, I probably would have fried out the board. So
Yeah.
I'm not good at soldering.
Now the effects engine on that is that also something that you can user edit the effects?
Yes. I
So
believe.
from what I understand, I mean, you can act. They actually just came out. If you go on Korg's site now, they just came out with a board that you connect to this, where you can actually design all that stuff and make things yourself.
Wow.
It's god awful ugly though if you see it. Marshall, can you pull that up on the? Go on Korg's site and pull that up.
What's it
On
called?
the viewfinder, please.
What's it called
It's
again?
it's just called, that one's called NTS One as well, but it looks like it almost looks like not an Arduino board, but it looks like you can actually manipulate the crap out of this thing. You actually connect it to the little keyboard thing that I bought.
See what I can find here.
And it also powers down by itself too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think all the Korg stuff turns off after like a certain amount of time of non-use, and actually that annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, I
Oh.
always turn it off
So-
immediately when I discover that feature.
I think it's cool on this one because it's plugged in all the time because there is no batteries or power source to it other than USB, micro USB.
Hmm.
I don't know if I must be taking a huge internet hit here. I can't even pull up the Korg website here. I'm just getting there. It's slowly loading. Slowly, there it is. So that's the kit, but where's I don't know what you're referring to. The other.
So yeah, if you go onto the, that's kind of cool, Stan.
Yeah.
If you go onto the main site, you can actually see.
On the Korg main site?
Yeah, on the home
New
page.
Tech. That's the one. New Tech.
New Tech, yeah. Yeah, they make pedals and stuff now that you can build too. They have a nice little headphone amp
Yeah, see,
that they make.
this is one of those things we've talked about before, and I never remembered what it was called. So when you were sitting there saying NTS
I heard
one,
multiple names.
I was like, what is
And
that?
I get, as soon as they got multiple names and start using special designations, I get a little lost.
God, it's like watching paint dry. What's going on? Well, anyways, the Venom sucks. So does the DX7.
So is your Venom, is it white or off-white or yellow?
No, mine's pristine. It's in like perfect condition. It's even got the orange sticker on it still.
Oh, you kept the sticker on it?
Well, I bought another one because I sold mine after maybe a few months. And I remember I was doing podcasting back then. I wasn't doing YouTube. I had a podcast show called EMP. It stood for Electronic Music Production.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's still on iTunes.
Is the Venom connected, or can you hold it in front of the camera briefly?
Let me see if I can.
I don't know how heavy that thing is.
It's not heavy at all. It's
Yeah, it's fairly
plastic.
light.
Is the interface, is there not a lot of way to interact with the engine? Was that the main issue with it?
Well, you had to use the app to get to anything really.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Doesn't that look? It looks nice. Yeah, it's nice and.
It does have
What-
something really interesting on the left-hand side where the little where the modulation wheel is and stuff at the top. Yeah, it does have an input section, like a mixer section,
Well,
and that's what I ran.
it works as an audio interface as well. So
Yeah.
you have some.
When did that come out? What year?
2011.
Yep.
This was the Hydra Synth of its day.
Yeah.
Now I don't think the Hydra Synth is gonna obviously be a like this and not do well. Obviously, people seem to love the Hydra Synths, but it would have the same kind of hype and buzz around it when it came out
Yeah.
because it was new
Yeah.
and everyone was shitting themselves over it. But the thing is, like, it has really awful amounts of aliasing, and I remember I was trying to find the video of where I saw this when this was coming out, and there were videos online about it. But the gentleman who designed this, totally respect that guy because he worked with Alesis. He helped with the Andromeda and some other like great synthesizers. He was lead on this, and I feel terrible. But I remember him saying that they liked the sound of aliasing, and I've never heard anyone ever say that ever. So
Yeah, that's kind of strange.
I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure I remember them saying something to that effect, like they liked the sound of aliasing or whatever.
If your synth had an alias knob, would you use it?
No.
No.
It's kind of like the main issue most people have with digital synths. Aliasing and shitty filter stepping. Now, they did get the filters to sound pretty good because the filter knob is super high resolution. It was like over 1,000 steps or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And it does have some pretty cool percussion kits like 909, 808, and you can add some distortion, and some of that stuff sounds good. But the synth engine itself, I remember there was also like a promo video with the the Chemical Brothers. I can't remember.
No, it was
Who was it? And they like made a track with it, but they only used like one little tiny sound in one small part of the track.
Crystal Method.
Yeah.
Crystal Method, that's it. And it's like,
Okay.
okay, that means that it's probably a piece of shit.
Yeah, they were all like gaga over it. I'm like, but the funny
Yeah.
part is
Well,
during the demo when they did that video, they were like sitting in their studio surrounded by all of these gorgeous synths, and they
yeah,
had this.
actual synths.
Yeah, it was hilarious
man.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like going, "Oh, this is amazing," and I'm like,
Yeah, but see, in the
Fuck-
song they made
fuck
with
you.
it, they used like one little sound for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a sign. That's a sign.
That's what things were like before YouTube and doing, synth demos
Yeah.
became a thing. Is we were stuck with those manufactured, fake
promos,
demonstrations
yeah.
like you're describing.
Yeah.
right.
They pay a celebrity to promote it, and
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. I use it to butter my bread every day.
yeah,
Check it out.
Check it out. I used it for 0.2 seconds in this one track because M-Audio paid us like 50 grand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So was the filter just one algorithm, or was there could you swap out different filter types?
I think there was different I don't remember offhand, and I'd have to hook it back up and launch the.
That's okay. I won't make you go through that.
I mean, I'm gonna make some videos on it. I just kind of, I don't want to be a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? But this
Just do like a pros and cons video, you know.
Yeah, pros.
Try and keep it even.
Pros.
It might take you a while to come up with the pros, but
cons. I bought it again.
Dude, you should do like one of those videos like, check out the Venom, it's amazing. And then just
new and improved.
New and improved M-Audio Venom, still shitty as ever. Aliasing is amazing.
Hey, you didn't happen to take a video of you smashing the DX7, did you?
Oh yeah, I made a video of doing that, and everyone hated it.
If I could buy Lysol right now, it'd smell better, but I can't.
Right. That's funny.
But I want to see that video.
I can arrange that if you really want.
I think it'd be awesome.
It's the only video I've removed from YouTube ever.
Really?
Well,
bring it back.
To the
Bring it
angry
back.
hordes.
Well, because right after I did that video, and I had done it had been maybe a month or something. Shortly after that, YouTube enacted we're gonna cut everyone off from partnership if you had under 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah.
Then I made a video about that, and one of my subscribers at the time reached out to Synthmania, Paulo at Synthmania, and he like gave me a shout out, and I got like a nice bump in subscribers from that, and I was able to get an interview with him and do some stuff, and I was like, well, I'm starting to kind of become more like in the community here, and it was recommended to me by somebody else that I should probably take that video down. So
well, that's how you and I got together. I had mentioned that to you because I remember you had posted something about monetization and stuff, and
yes,
I followed you, you followed me, and that's how our friendship started. So,
Yeah.
Well, and CowFood here, he was one of my early subscribers, was watching my live streams in the middle of the night. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was a
That's
stalker.
cool.
That's how I got in with the graces.
So yeah, that's why I took that one down. I normally wouldn't give a shit, but I was like, yeah, okay, that one might be a little over the top, even though the DX7 is fucking terrible, and I thought everyone thought that.
Bring it back. Just do it.
Just put it back up. No, it even got posted. I remember seeing it in a DX7 Facebook group, and they were like, "This guy's an idiot." I'm like, yeah, because you guys like the DX7. Who else does?
There's a DX7 echo chamber. That's
Right.
hilarious.
it's so sad, man.
It's funny.
The DX7 to me was just a giant preset machine
Yeah, that's
because you
pretty
couldn't
much
do
what
anything
I
else
said.
with it.
I was pretty much rehashing what everyone already knows, and then I decided to show everyone how to upgrade it by smashing it. I didn't smash a working one. I thought that was like, that'd be like using an animal to experiment on. No, I got a dead one, like a broken DX7. Yeah.
Back, maybe.
Oh, are we freezing?
Yeah, we froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back now.
Well, anyway, let's talk
yeah.
about the Akai Synth Bassline. It's now available
Onward
for
and
pre-order.
upward.
Very cool.
What do you guys think of this?
I like it.
All right.
Good, but I haven't heard in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
460 euros from the Akai Synths website here. Estimated shipping due April 4th. That's cool.
Sorry, guys.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My wife just came in to show me something.
Oh, cool.
Apparently, her sister's boss has the symptoms.
Oh no, that's not good.
The maintenance guy in Callan was with him
Yeah.
for 3 days.
That sucks.
Well, yeah, seeing that I was with Callan today, so that means
Yeah, that's great. Excellent.
Oh, it was
Sorry,
nice
guys.
knowing you, Echo Kraft.
Wow.
Can everyone hear everyone, or is everything screwed
Yeah,
up?
that just put a damper on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, dude, it's the times. It's really
Yeah.
awful. And
Now it sucks because she was just with her sister too, so that means we're probably gonna have to get tested.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so this baseline thing.
Can you run down the specs for us, Marshall, if you see them there?
yeah. All analog sound engine, aggressive acid box filter design, one knob overdrive for even more destructive sound, transistor-based sub oscillator, independent amplitude filter cutoff and pitch envelopes, bucket brigade based detune. I guess that's what BBD stands for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upper
Yep.
I'm not sure what
Okay.
that means in that context,
brigade delay based detune for massive swarm sound. Swarm sound? I don't know what that is.
What?
That's what
though.
it said.
I did. That's the one sentence that I didn't understand when I read it the first time either.
Yeah,
Is that so? What is that like a?
I don't
Is
know.
that? Is it a
It's like a
bumblebee
chorus
sound?
effect. I'm guessing maybe a chorus effect.
I guess. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm not sure.
some kind of some kind of BBD based detune, apparently.
That's a delay. That's a bucket brigade delay.
Yeah,
That's what
right.
Delay
BBD
chip.
stands for.
Yeah, for
Yeah, that's what.
But
base,
That's what I thought it
But
meant.
for detune and swarm sound, okay. Anyways, syncable LFO with multiple waveforms for FM and VCF modulation. Noise source, apparently that gets its own line item there. Intuitive and easy to use sequencer for up to 64 step patterns. Sequence transposing, pattern randomization, arpeggiator, modulation track with VCF cutoff automation, built-in and user-defined scales for microtonal possibilities, analog clock in and out, CV gate, output input, MIDI in and through, play with a keyboard, 8 banks of pattern memory, compact, durable aluminum enclosure.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
cool. So it's got a sub, right? It's got a sub oscillator and a
Yeah, I believe
regular.
I believe I said sub oscillator, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, transistor based sub oscillator.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds unique.
It means it's cooler than anything that a DX7 can do.
So that that filter, is it meant to sound similar to, say, a 303, or what are they going for?
I think I heard that. Is it 24 decibel filter or is it 18?
I don't know what an acid box, unless that's maybe one of their filters.
Well, it's an 18 dB filter on the 303, right?
No, it's actually a 24 decibel filter that was screwed up.
It was
on
a
the 303.
broken filter. Okay.
It's a busted filter.
I
A
thought it
busted
was a,
filter, and it ends up sounding like an 18 decibel.
Oh, okay.
That's why people get confused with that. But I mean, that's the backstory of the 303 filter. But I'm thinking it's probably an 18 decibel on this one, on the Ericsson. Or does it mention it?
It doesn't.
I think it said acid box filter. I'm wondering if it's the Erica Synths 303 clone filter.
Yeah, I mean
probably
that's
They
yeah,
may
that's what
make
it
a clone
sounds like to
filter, and
me.
maybe that's what they put in there.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
That I don't
It
know.
sounded pretty good in the demo, though. So it
And
definitely
it
sounded
looks
good for
cool.
acid sounds.
It's heads and shoulders above a DX7. Look at that. It's black.
It's got more knobs.
It's got way more knobs. It looks
Nice
like...
big fat knobs.
Yeah, I like it. It looks cool as hell.
It is. It's cool.
Looks like it should be in, like, Knight Rider or something.
That red LED.
That's what you need to do,
thing.
Marshall, is get that thing and put the Knight Rider sequence into there.
Yeah.
Well, wait, we don't want to get the show hit for
Oh,
copyright,
oh,
so
Copyright. That's fine. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of a neat thing. That's we heard about that at NAMM, I believe, right? Was that one of the first times that was introduced, or I can't remember now. There's so much stuff that's been coming out. And
I don't know if that was at NAMM.
yeah, I don't recall. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I want to say, did we not talk about this on our NAMM Let's Talk Synths? Maybe not.
No, I don't
think so.
remember talking about that. We talked about that Model thing.
The modal.
Yeah.
The what is that one called? The Argon 8.
Yeah. That I didn't see. Apparently, it was there.
Oh yeah. It's the wavetable synth.
Now in rack and 61 key
Yeah.
versions.
Which is what Korg needs to do with their wave state. They need to do.
Oh,
If
I've
they
already
did-
written to them.
If they did either one of those, I'd be looking to probably pick one up. I don't want to get a little 32 note. Like, there's not enough keys for a synth like that. You need to be able to play across multiple octave, like good wide ranges for dynamics with those types of sounds. It's not a bass synth like a fatty. Like, that's fine
No.
for a mono bass synth, right? But not for a multi-timbral high voice count.
Sounds like you could do a full-on workstation kind of application with that synth from
Yeah.
based on the range that I've heard out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wrote to them actually, and I said I'd really like to see that done in a module because I would totally buy it if it comes out in a module. And I haven't had gas really for anything like major like that. That was the first time in a while that I said I really want this because I played with it for a while at NAMM and it was really awesome.
They could do just like they did with the XD and they would do a tabletop.
Right.
Why they didn't make the XD tabletop rack mountable is a little confusing. Maybe they just wanted to save money because it's if it was just a little bit smaller, I think it's like 19.5 inches wide instead of 19.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has something to do with the way the PCBs are designed, and
Yeah, I think it was an afterthought.
You'd
maybe.
have to probably re-engineer them to get them to fit in a 19-inch enclosure, maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
I have a perfect spot for that right over there, actually.
right over
So
where?
they have right behind me.
The wrong button.
If they come out with one, that's where it's going. It's going to go right there.
All right. Well, then, so next, if they do that, when we have you on again and you get one, you're gonna have to be like, here it is, and then we'll put.
I'm
this,
totally gonna.
We'll put the before
and then play
after.
an angel chord from the wave state,
Yes.
I will.
a choir sound.
I'll do better than that. I'll do that whole orchestral thing.
It's got to have the joystick, though, that's for sure. The rack, if they decide to go there.
Yes.
Oh no! Well, they would have to put the vector joystick in there because there's no use in. It's useless if they don't have that.
Yep, exactly.
Exactamundo. All right. Let's see. I got one last thing to talk about, and then I guess we can probably call it a night here, gentlemen. But I saw this here on Synthtopia today. 9 Inch Nails is giving away, looks like...
Panty sets.
Yeah, you could get your underwear for $9.99. But also, Ghosts 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to a new 9 Inch Nails record since...
Well, Ghost isn't new.
it's newer than what I've heard from them.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard whatever they came out with in the early 2000s. I think was some of the last music I'd heard.
Yeah,
of theirs.
once he went clean, he lost me.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on.
The sound changed. The sound
Fragile?
changed.
Is it
The fragile was. I thought it was perfect. I couldn't do anything about it.
That's a great album.
Everything froze for a second there again. What was that, guys?
The Fragile was that's a great album.
Yeah.
I think it's one of their best albums that he put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 99 or 2000. Can't remember.
I think it was. No, I think you're right. I think it was 99. I don't know, but I listened to it all the way through 2004. I kept listening to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, same here.
Well, apparently the follow-up from an album called Ghosts 1 through 4 was released in 2008, and so they've got a follow-up to that, Ghosts 5 through 6. I'm assuming Roman numerals there, and they're giving that away for free.
I recall it was like an instrumental B-sides, as I recall.
Yeah, it was
I may be
all instrumental. There was no vocals on Ghost at all.
The first one was like an instrumental B-sides. I don't know if this is the same or not.
And I believe a Ghost 5 was the last track on that album, and that's where that little Nas guy actually took that track and turned it into what's the name of that song? Uptown Road.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I've
Reznor
been-
actually, he didn't sue him for that. He just said, "Give me credit for it."
I just thought that was cool to see, a major artist like that putting a release out and for free. You don't really see that very often.
Yeah, he did that a couple of times, Marshall.
Has he?
Yeah, he did. I forget the name of the album. Actually, it was on that page. When you scrolled all the way down, it was on that page. Lights in the Sky, and then the one that was on that same page. It's Red, Gray, and Black. He gave that album away for free as well.
Which one is
Scroll
it?
down. Scroll out all the way. There it is right there.
This one?
Yeah.
The Slip?
The Slip. Yeah, he gave the Slip away for free as well.
Says related.
Great album. That's a really good album.
Okay.
Yeah,
he
my
did that-
favorite was Quake, the video game soundtrack
Oh,
for that.
That was really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
one of my favorite works.
After I
by
found out there was a soundtrack on a video game CD like that, I took all of my CDs of game discs and was like hoping there was tracks on them. There wasn't.
The cool
yeah, I
thing
think
too is
Mech Warrior was the same way.
yes, it was. Yeah. The cool thing too about Quake was that the nail boxes for the nail gun had 9 Inch Nails written on it.
Yeah. Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Now, is this Quake 1 or Quake 2 that we're talking about?
The first
Quake 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to do LAN parties playing that game. It was fun.
Party time. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had to cover here, there, gentlemen. Do you guys have anything you'd like to say or add, or?
I was just wondering, with what's going on, has anybody heard of any cancellations as far as what is Super Booth, the next big show?
Yeah,
in
it's been
April?
canceled.
Oh, was it canceled?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
And
Nick Bat
what was
had
after
mentioned-
Super Booth?
Music
it was
Messa?
Music Messier. Yeah. They canceled both of those.
They're both canceled? Yeah. It's...
Yeah, Nick.
I'm pretty
Nick Bat
sure
had-
Moodfest
Yeah.
is probably gone too.
Well, Moogfest was already canceled before any of this, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, Nick Bat had mentioned that on the last Sonic State before this new one, that they had canceled both of those shows. So yeah, kind of sucks.
yeah, so everything's canceled. Can't even watch sports.
No.
Not that I was like a huge sports fan, but I like to watch some hockey every now and then, some basketball.
Well, yeah, the thing is,
football.
like people were saying, oh, dude, you got to check out, the 2011 hockey game. I'm like, for what? I know the outcome. What the fuck's the point? Like,
Yeah,
I
the
just,
point
I
of-
don't
The point of watching sports is to see what happens.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't get it. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to be running the 2011 Bruins game," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, it's kind of senseless. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people love watching old school football reels, highlight reels, and I'm just like, yeah,
I
whatever.
like that. Some of the highlight stuff is cool, but like I wouldn't watch a whole game.
Yeah, same here.
This is
Yeah, that'd be hard to wait. Like, well, I could just fast forward this to the
yeah.
good part.
I would just watch the highlights anyway. Yeah, like. Yeah,
Well, especially if you had seen that game, you already know who won, and you already know like the goal. You wouldn't be surprised when they score. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, that was great." You know, I saw that. Been there.
Like that time when Shannon Sharp was calling the National Guard in on the Patriots because they were killing them. The Broncos were killing the Patriots. You remember that? I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Fuck you, Marshall.
It's okay. The Broncos are terrible now, so it's all right.
Yeah, they were a great team.
Yeah. No,
Well,
maybe
so
not.
what I was wondering as far as the synths go is, do we think maybe some of the manufacturers will do a little bit of their own stuff like uh, Behringer did during NOM? You know, if there's no trade shows for a good 6 months and people want to release equipment, what do you guys think they'll do? Or how do you think the market might adapt to that situation?
it's gonna be interesting because I think a lot of what's gonna happen could depend on how quickly the world is able to recover. So I don't know, because this kind of scares me. Like in the financial crisis, that's when we started, I guess, seeing a bunch more mini synths and mini keys and all the stuff we kind of don't like. And some of that was obviously out of necessity and still get product out, but obviously not as expensive. So
Right.
who knows? I hope it's not a very long time before things kind of get rolling again. But in the meantime, I mean we have seen some products launch like the Polyend Tracker. That's kind of that was just announced earlier this month, like towards the middle of the month, I think. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But yeah, trade shows obviously getting a bunch of people gathered together for like what we're used to seeing every year. That's not going to happen, so they're going to have to probably do like what Aaron's saying and probably do their own little events and do videos, and I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how that aspect of things adapts.
Like the scary thing is I was at NAM when this thing broke out, and my wife and I were at the hotel, and it was after the show that we went to that night, and they had closed LAX down because there was some odd virus, they said, something that nobody ever knew about, that somebody had got off the plane had, and people were getting sick. Luckily, Laura and I flew out of Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
But it was weird, you know what I mean? Like that was the beginning of it for the United States knowing about it.
Yep. Yeah, because you guys got it. Well, they got it in L.A. It was one of the first couple of cases, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird, and that's why hearing this news about my wife's sister's I don't know if it was a boss or whatever it was, but it just sucks because my wife has to go over her dad's house to help her dad out because he's elderly. So her sister meets her there too to help out. So now I mean, we've been being really good. We've been staying in. We haven't gone out. We haven't done anything. But that's all it takes, man. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this person just thinks they have the symptoms and they don't. So
yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Keep our fingers crossed for that, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So some definitely. I've been on this planet a long time, fellas, and this is definitely some strange ass shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it really is.
You've been around the block a few times there, Echo Kraft.
Yeah, and it's really weird. I've seen some different flu viruses and things like that had like SARS. I remember when that was a big thing, and
yeah,
this is 10 times worse than that shit.
Well, it's SARS-2. It's literally
it's worse,
the name
though.
of it. SARS-CoV-2 is the actual name of the virus.
So it's definitely scary, and hopefully it won't be affecting my life. I hope it doesn't affect any of you guys either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want to make some music, man. I want to play with synths.
Same here.
Have a good time. Make some techno.
Yep.
Exactly.
Hang out with
Keep it fresh for the people.
Hang out with my internet friends that like synths. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say, Marshall, that Tower of Power video you put out was one of my favorite YouTube videos of all time.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
a favorite of all
Not
time.
not just because my fatty's in there.
I mean, that
Or you're
that
fatty
middle
now.
one, that middle one is yours that I bought from you.
Does it sound better?
It's yours now.
That's why the
It's-
video is the best of all time.
It sounds amazing, actually.
Didn't it? It sounds it sounds so good.
Is that official then? The Tower of Power?
The Tower of Power. And I need to give credit to Aaron because he came up with that name.
I'll loan it to you.
Yeah, so I totally hijacked that. I was gonna call
I'm expecting royalty fees from the video.
the whole.
You might have the
500 views on it.
You might have the Tower of Power horn section chasing after your ass.
Oh, I did. I didn't realize that was actually a band or something.
Yeah.
I remember I looked it up after I'd already published it, and I was like, "Oh, that's a band." But I said,
Yeah,
I
I saw them
Moog.
play live at NAMM.
I said the Moog Tower of Power, so maybe
Yeah.
that's okay.
Sure.
Unaffiliated.
I wouldn't worry about
I was
it.
gonna call it the Big Fatty, and then Aaron said Tower of Power, Moog Tower of Power, and I was like, that's probably a little better to use online than Big Fatty.
Yeah.
It sounds cooler too, I think. Big Fatty's just funny, but it's not as cool. Moog Tower of Power.
Yeah, that sounds good. I actually saw them play at NAMM.
Were they good?
They were amazing.
So next time you see them, just be like, hey, my friend on YouTube.
Frozen.
And then
Frozen
back.
again.
I don't know what's going on. I don't ever remember having this many issues with this thing spiking like that. It's all the awesomeness on screen at one time.
Exactly.
Totally sapping the horsepower out of the computer right now.
It's all the
handle
synths. The synths are draining the system.
Right. All right. Well, I guess we'll leave it there. Here,
we
guys.
We should call ourselves the Synth Lords.
Synth lords.
The Synth Lords.
Synth lizards.
Synth Lizards.
Yeah, but lizard tattoo. I guess that works.
That
in a
kind of
way.
works.
Yeah. There you
I'm
go.
hoping
Yeah,
someday to
a
graduate
lizard.
to Lord of Synth, but Synth
Lord
Lizard
of-
is not bad too.
Lord of
Synth
Synth. I like that.
Yeah, Lord of Synth. That's from the Robot Chicken or whatever it is video.
Yeah, yeah.
Adult Swim.
Oh yeah,
One of the greatest.
is that
Oh,
Robot
I've seen
Chicken?
that.
I can't remember. It's something like that.
Well, I think Synth Lizards is pretty cool. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
that's what we'll call this show, Synth Lizards.
It's not bad. Synth Lizards.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for joining me here, guys. Stay safe and hope to
Velociraptor.
Echo Kraft is going to change his name to Echo Raptor.
No, that was CowFood. He was doing that thing. I don't know what that was.
He's the
Velociraptor. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reptilian. No, we're not cats.
I can't do it.
What's wrong with
I can't do it. I'm embarrassing myself. That means it's time to end the show. Thank you
All
guys
right.
for being here.
All right, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks.
Peace. Thanks.